Hey you, today we're going to be talking about bank accounts. I did a video of my top 5 online savings accounts and you guys loved it. I also got a comment requesting me to do a video on my top picks for bank accounts. In this video, I'm going to go over my top 4. So if you are interested in getting the most out of your bank, then stay tuned. Welcome to Healthy, Wealthy, Skinny, where we focus on the steps to help you live a healthy, wealthy, and skinny life. I'm Sean, and if you are ready to start thriving and not just surviving, go ahead and hit that like button, smash that subscribe button, and hit the bell icon so you get a notification every week when I drop a new video. And don't forget to stay until the end because, as always, I've got something special for you. So let's jump into the content for today. Today we're going to be talking about bank accounts. And by bank accounts, I mean checking accounts, savings accounts, and then some other features that these banks might be offering. I'm going to give you my top 4 picks. But before I jump into my list, I want to go over a term that I'm going to be using a lot in this video, and that is APY. And APY stands for Annual Percentage Yield. APY refers to the amount of money or interest that you will earn on your money in 1 year. Now let's break down what APY really means to you. Let's use a sample APY of 1.5%. If you have a bank account with an APY of 1.5%, that means for every $100 you have in your account, you will earn $1.50 per year. If you have $5,000 in your bank account, you will earn $75 per year. Now, this might not sound like a lot of money, but earning interest on a bank account is really free money. It's money that you get for doing absolutely nothing. Now that we've got APY squared away so you know how interest is calculated, let's jump into my list. All of the accounts in my list have certain things in common. They are all FDIC insured, and they all have strong online and mobile platforms, as most of these are online banks. Another great thing about all of the banks on my list is they do offer both checking and savings accounts. I think all the banks on my list are pretty awesome, but I did try to rank them. I'm going to start with bank number 4 and then do a countdown to the number 1 bank on my list. So let's get started. Number 4 on my list is Chime. Chime is a fairly new establishment. It was established in 2013. They're based in San Francisco, California. However, they do not have any physical branches. Chime's banking services are provided by the Bancroft Bank. Bancroft Bank provides private label banking services, and they work with a lot of reputable financial companies, and one of those companies is PayPal. So let's take a look at Chime's website. Here are my list of pros for Chime. They have no overdraft fees. There is no minimum balance requirements, and there's no minimum balance to open an account. There are no monthly service fees or no foreign transaction fees. There are no transfer fees, and you have free access to over 30,000 ATMs. Chime also has an automatic savings feature that allows you to round up your purchases, and that extra money goes directly into your savings account, which is pretty awesome. And Chime also gives you a free debit card. Now, we can't have pros without cons, so let's go through a few cons that I have on my list for Chime. Number 1 is that they have no physical branches. Now, if you're like me, that's not a big deal because I do not like going to a physical bank. I'd rather do all of my banking online or with my smartphone. Another con for Chime is that they have no interest on their checking account. And you'll see why this is a con when I go through some of the other banks on my list. And then when it comes to their savings account, the APY on their savings account is pretty low, which is similar to a lot of the larger banks and makes Chime not very competitive in that area with the other 3 banks on my list. If you want to know more about Chime and check out some of its features and get more details, I will leave a link to the Chime website in the description. Next on my list is Ally Bank. And Ally Bank is one of my favorites. Even though it's number 3 on my list, it's the bank that I actually use. I love their online high yield savings account, and their customer service is awesome. So let's jump over to the Ally website. On my list of pros for Ally, first up is no monthly maintenance fees. That is awesome. You can bank for free using Ally. Ally has a $0 minimum opening deposit and a $0 minimum. You do not have to keep a certain amount in your account to bank free with Ally. The APY on the Ally checking account is slightly higher than traditional banks. If your daily balance is less than $15,000, then your APY at Ally will be 0.10%. If you keep a daily balance over $15,000, then your APY at Ally will be 0.5%. Like I mentioned, Ally offers a high-yield online savings account, and the APY for that account is 1.5%, which is pretty good. This APY is variable. It is a little low right now, but that can change. When I first started with Ally, it was a lot higher. Also on my list of pros for Ally is that they are a full-service bank. You've got checking, savings. There's also an investment platform. They also offer mortgages and car loans. With Ally, you can use any all-point ATM for free in the U.S., and Ally also supports Zelle for easy transferring of money. That was a lot of pros, but I do have a few cons on my list for Ally. Just like Chime, Ally does not have physical locations. Again, this is not a very big deal for me, but it might be for you, so I wanted to point it out. Con number 2 is that you cannot make cash deposits with Ally. There are a number of ways that you can get money into your Ally account, but cash is not one of them. So some of the things you might be able to do is transfer money from another account using Zelle, or you can cash checks electronically using their smartphone app, and of course you can use direct deposit. So this con may or may not be a big deal to you depending on how much you utilize cash. And then finally, Ally does charge a $25 overdraft fee. I do have banks on this list that do not charge anything for insufficient funds or overdrafts, so I did have to mention that as a con for Ally. If you want to know more about Ally Bank, I will leave a link to their website in the description. Number 2 on my list is a very popular bank, and it is CapitalOne. Let's check out their website. Some of the pros on my list for CapitalOne is that their 360 account has no fees. There are no monthly maintenance fees, and the minimum opening deposit is 0. There are no monthly minimums and no foreign transaction fees. The APY on the CapitalOne checking account is slightly larger than traditional banks at 0.2%. And just like Ally Bank, they do have a high-yield online savings account, and the APY for their savings account is 1.5% at the time of the recording of this video. And just like with their checking account, they have no monthly maintenance fees on their savings account, and no minimum opening deposit, and no random fees. With CapitalOne, you have access to over 39,000 all-point ATMs that you can use for free, and you get a free debit card. One big difference than the other 2 banks that I've talked about so far, Chime and Ally, is that CapitalOne does have physical locations. They call them CapitalOne cafes, and you may have seen the commercials for these fairly recently, but they look pretty cool on TV, although I've never been to one. Unlike Ally, CapitalOne does allow you to do cash deposits because they do have physical locations, and they do support Zelle. So for those reasons, although I really love Ally, CapitalOne came in at number 2 on my list. When it comes to the cons for CapitalOne, I only have one on my list, and that is that they do charge overdraft fees. But they give you a few ways to avoid those, and you can find out about those on their website. I will leave a link to it in the description. And now we're at the number 1 bank on my list, and that is Discover Bank. I've been hearing so much about Discover Bank lately, and even got a few comments on my online savings account video as to why I didn't mention Discover. And Discover is pretty good. It just did not make the cut in that video because I was only doing 5, but Discover Bank is awesome. If you look at Discover as a bank overall, it is superb. So let's jump over to their website. Let's go through my list of pros for Discover Bank. There are no monthly fees on any account. Discover will not charge you any insufficient funds fees or overdraft fees, and that is huge. There's also no minimum balance for having a Discover account. So really you are truly banking for free with Discover. Discover gives you a free debit card like the other banks on my list, but they give you 1% cash back up to $3,000 on all of your purchases with your debit card. This is awesome. If you've been around this channel for a while, you know I love cash back. I talk about a lot of cashback apps, and I'll leave a link to that video above me in the card, but cashback is great. I don't like leaving any free money on the table, so I absolutely love cashback. So with Discover, Anytime you use your debit card, you are getting free money up to $3,000 every month. Like I mentioned earlier, Discover does have a high yield savings account, and the APY for that savings account right now is 1.4%. With Discover, you have access to over 60,000 ATMs, and Discover also supports Zelle for easy transferring of money. The only con on my list that I have for Discover is that you can't make cash deposits. You have to put money into your account using some of the other methods that I talked about earlier in the video. Meaning you can have direct deposit or you can use Zelle to transfer from other accounts. So there you have it, my list of the top 4 bank accounts. There are other great accounts out there, but for my list, I wanted to focus on those that had very little or no fees, that had high interest savings accounts, no minimum opening balances, and that had both a checking and a savings account. And based on those qualifications, the list that I've gone over are my favorites. Do you have any banks that you love that I did not mention in my list? I would love for you to drop those in the comments. Tell us why you like them and some of their features, and I may even do a follow-up video so I can share any standout banks that I did not cover in this video. So now I want to give a special shout out to Carrie's Theories. Carrie reached out to me and asked if she can design some HWS t-shirts and send them my way. I thought that was an awesome idea. I want to say thank you to Carrie. Your work was awesome, and I'm going to be showing you guys some more of her t-shirt designs in some following videos. I would love for you guys to look in my description and click on the link and check out Carrie's Instagram and look at some of her services. Again, thank you so much, Carrie. And I thought it would be really cool to feature any products that you guys would like me to feature. So if you have something that you'd like me to show, go ahead. Reach out to me using my email address. I've got it down in the description, and I'd be happy to feature your work. Now, at the beginning of this video, I promised you a special gift for watching it to the end, and we are at that point. If you look down in the description, you'll see a special link. Click on it, give me your email address, and I'll send it your way. But before you do that, I'd like for you to watch this video right here because I chose it especially for you. I'm going to meet you over there, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!